Breakthrough. Accelerating the meta revolution.
Hey leaders, how are you today? So today we're going to dive into a really powerful new way for leaders to handle those people problems that just never seem to go away. And I mean, forget the long drawn-out meetings. We are going to explore how you can help bring out high-quality performance in your team, effectively, efficiently, and yeah, in just about 5 minutes.
So let's be real for a second. As a manager, does it ever feel like you're just constantly putting out fires? You know, you solve one problem and boom, 3 more pop up in its place. It is so frustrating, it's draining, and honestly, a lot of the time, the old ways of just telling people what to do, they can actually make things worse, not better. If any of that is ringing a bell, then you are definitely in the right place.
You see, the world of work has completely changed, and that means leadership has to change right along with it. That old top-down command and control style that might have worked in a factory 100 years ago, it just doesn't fly anymore. And this quote from Peter Senge just nails it. Real leadership today isn't about barking orders and enforcing rules. It's about listening, supporting, and empowering potential.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by really digging into the modern manager's problem. Then we'll talk about the massive mindset shift you need to make. After that, we get to the good stuff, the core technique, this 5-minute conversation, and the tools you'll need to pull it off. And we'll wrap it all up by connecting everything to what leadership is really all about.
Okay, first up, the manager's problem. The reason the old ways are failing us is pretty simple when you think about it. You can force someone to follow a rule, sure, but you absolutely cannot force them to be creative or collaborative or genuinely motivated. Just pushing for compliance, it will never unlock a person's best work. I mean, look at this. This old style literally treats people like cogs in a machine, not as the valuable, thinking, feeling human assets they are. It turns communication into a one-way street, which just kills innovation. It completely fails to empower the people who are actually doing the work. So the bottom line is, this approach isn't just a little ineffective, it's actively holding your team back from its true potential. And this, right here, brings us to the absolute heart of it all. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see your role. It's time to take off the old manager hat and put on a new one, the performance facilitator.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got that traditional thinking, control, telling, and power that comes from a title on a business card. But just look at the right. A facilitator is all about collaboration. They don't direct, they ask questions that inspire. And their respect, it comes from connection, not position. You're no longer the expert who has to solve everyone's problems. You're the guide who helps your team find their own brilliant solutions.
So what does performance facilitator actually mean? Well, let's be clear. This is not about you becoming some certified professional coach who runs hour-long therapy sessions. Not at all. It's about borrowing the most effective, powerful skills from the world of coaching so you can do your job as a leader better. It's about learning how to inform, inspire, and empower your people to bring their absolute best to work every day.
And now for the real game changer, the tool that makes all of this possible, the 5-minute conversation. This is a short, super focused, and really structured chat that is designed to get right to the core of any issue, and to do it fast.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. 5 minutes? No way. But it's all based on this one powerful idea. Problems, even the really complex, messy ones, have a hidden structure. And once you learn how to see that structure, you can cut through all the noise and the drama and help someone find a breakthrough in a tiny fraction of the time you're used to spending.
And here it is. This is the structure. It's like digging for gold, level by level. You start at the surface, understanding the person's current experience, and just building that connection. Then you figure out which type of conversation you even need to have. From there, you go deeper, listening very carefully to the specific language they use, which helps you uncover the hidden thinking patterns behind those words. That's when you ask it, the one critical question that cracks the whole thing open. And that reveals the deepest level, the meaning they've given the situation, the very thing that is creating their reality. Okay, so to actually navigate that deep structure, you're going to need a new toolkit. And we're not talking about memorizing a script here, we're talking about developing a whole new set of skills so you can have these conversations with real precision. And, just as importantly, with real empathy. The very first, and maybe the most important tool, is to understand what a problem really is. And this is a big one, so listen close.
A problem is just the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That's it. It's a mental construct. It exists in our heads. This means the person is never the problem. The situation isn't the problem. The frame, the way they are thinking about it, that's the problem. And that is something you can absolutely work with. And your toolkit has the right tool for every job. You'll learn to identify which of the 13 different types of conversations is needed. For instance, is someone totally confused? You'll need a clarity conversation to help them sort through it all. Are they stuck, unable to make a choice? That calls for a decision conversation. And what about those tough issues? Well, that's a confrontation conversation, and you'll learn how to handle it constructively. It makes all the difference. All right, this brings us to our final section, where we tie all these practical tools back to the real soul of leadership. Because at the end of the day, this is about so much more than just solving problems faster. You know, leadership isn't really about managing spreadsheets and tasks. It's about mobilizing people. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Your real job is to lead the minds and the hearts of your team to help them see a shared vision of what's possible. And every single 5-minute conversation you have, when you do it right, is a little step toward building the trust that makes that vision a reality. So what's the big payoff here? Yeah, you're gonna see better performance. You're gonna solve problems way faster. But the real win? Oh, it's so much bigger. It's about building genuine, lasting trust. It's about fostering the real growth of the people you have the privilege to lead. And ultimately, it's about creating a workplace that isn't just more effective, but is also a lot more human. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to take with you. Think about your team right now. Think about the challenges, the roadblocks they're facing. Now, with this new framework in your mind, what's one single 5-minute conversation you could have tomorrow that just might be the key to unlocking someone's true potential?
Interested in learning more about the 5-minute performance facilitation? Hitch us up. We look forward to facilitating your breakthroughs.